Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is for trading on August 20th, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. All right, so in terms of news coming up here on a Tuesday, August 20, not really a ton of data. It's fairly light here. We have manufacturing sales number here for Canada, and then we have FOMC members speaking, as well as MI leading index for Australia. So here the most important, I would say, would be the FOMC members speaking here. So we have a Powell speaking later this week, but any comments that come out of FOMC, whether that's Powell or anybody else, will hold a lot of weight right now, because as we get into September, people will be, or the market will be expecting more monetary policy easing potentially from the Fed. But other than that, not a ton of data here. So let's go on to our charts here. So we'll start off with euro dollar as usual. For euro dollar, our daily candle close is bearish here. We have a bearish pin bar set up here. So looking for price to drop. In terms of our pullback here, looking for 1.1100 here for a potential pullback, and then looking for a drop there. So bias is bearish. We could get a bit of a pullback like that, and then looking for price to drop towards 1.1030. So bearish bias here for our euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this is looking bearish as well. We saw price going up here. Pound had gone up. Now we are into this previous support resistance level, and price has dropped from there. So today we have a bearish candle close here. In terms of a pullback, we could get a potential pullback into 1.2150. And from there, I'm looking for a further drop here. So bias is bearish for pound dollar. In terms of our targets here, the first target will be 1.2080 level here, potentially into 1.2050 and then 1.2020. So bearish bias for pound dollar here as well. Aussie dollar here, this one is, we do have a bearish candle close for the day. However, we just saw monetary policy meeting minutes come up, and those were not as bearish as the market had expected. So now we are seeing Aussie dollar go up. But the overall bias here is bearish. We see that for last 3 days here, price has held below this 0.67 or 0.6800 level here. So that's the first retest I would look for. I will look for a pullback into 0.6800. If price stays below here, I'm looking for price to drop. So overall, price has been trading in a range in pound dollar here. So the outside range is all the way into 0.6820, but for the last 3 days, it's been holding below the 0.6800. So I will look for a reaction at 0.6800 into the highs of the last 3 days here. If it holds below, then I'm looking for a drop here back towards 0.6740 here. So bias here is bearish based on the daily candle close here. Now, if the price goes above 0.6800, then I'm looking for a price to go and test the highs here, because if you take this away, this is the range price has been trading in. Overall, though, bias is bearish for Aussie dollar, and target is 0.6740. New Zealand dollar here, this one here, bias is bearish as well. We saw this nice drop in New Zealand dollar, and price broke below our support levels here. So bias is bearish for New Zealand dollar as well. Now, in terms of the pullback, we could see a slightly higher pullback into 0.6430 level here, and then looking for price to drop further. So bias is bearish for New Zealand dollar as well. And this is the type of move I'm looking for. So basically looking for price to go and test the low here at 0.6380. So bias is bearish for New Zealand dollar as well. Next one here, dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, there was a nice move to the upside here. Now, we are into resistance in dollar CAD. As we can see, price has not been able to break above this level at 1.3350. So we had this nice bullish candle close the other day, but then price went up into the high and then dropped from there. So we have to be careful with this one. So bias is bullish here, and I will look for a move back towards 1.3350 here. Now, if the price goes through that level, then we're looking for a further move up towards 1.3380. So overall bias is bullish. However, if price goes into the high and does not hold below, then we could see price come back towards the bottom of this little range that price has been moving in for the last several days here. Overall, though, bias is bullish, but I'd be really careful because we are into resistance here. So be mindful of that. If it breaks through, though, then 1.3380 will be the first target, and 1.3420 will be the second target. Silver here. I always want to say gold. Silver here, this is bearish. We have a bearish candle close. Something to keep in mind, though, we are into support here. Price is coming very close to support. If it doesn't break through 16.80, it could go back up here, just like it did previous times here. Price had dropped and then pushed back higher. So be careful with that one. However, bias is bearish. Once we see a breakthrough 16.80, next target here, we are looking at 16.60 and then 16.50. So first thing we have to pay attention to is to see if price breaks. If it does, I will look for a continuation. If it doesn't break 16.80, then we could see that move. So for now, bias is bearish for silver. Gold here, this one is bearish as well. So nice bearish candle close. So looking for price to drop here. 1480 is the target. So bias is bearish for gold here. Oil is looking bullish. We are into support resistance here. Prices reacted at this level several times. So need to be careful. If it doesn't break today's high, it could come back down here towards 53.50. But for now, bias is bullish. Next target is 57.50. So bullish bias for oil. Copper, this one is looking bearish. We have a pin bar today, which means we could see price drop. So pin bar always shows us a rejection here. In terms of pullback, I will look for a pullback into 2.57 and then a drop from there potentially, something like this, back into 2.53. So bias is bullish for copper. Bitcoin here, this is looking bullish. Price has been going higher. So as we can see, it's just been trading sideways in this big, huge range here. Right now, though, for today, bullish bias, looking for price to go towards 11,000. And then we are into this important support resistance level where price has reacted several times. If it stays below 11,000, then I would look for a drop back down towards the bottom of this range here, towards first target in that case would be 96.80 and then potentially 94.50. So first target is 11,000, but if it goes through, we could go higher here towards 12,000 then. So right now it's moving towards an important support resistance level. So bias is bullish, first target 11,000, but this is an important support resistance level. So if it doesn't go through, then I will look for a drop here. But should it go through, then I will look for a continuation move here towards 12,000 here. So bullish bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500 bias is bullish. Last 3 days, we have seen price move higher. Now we are coming towards the top of the range here, though. As we can see, price has turned from there. We are into this resistance level, or getting closer to the resistance level. So watch out for that. Bias is bullish at this point. If price goes, I will look for price to test the high at 29.50 here, and then we could see it drop. So watch out for that, because that is the top of the range, and then I would look for price to drop from there. Now, should it break through the high here of the range, then we are looking for price to go higher into 29.80 level, and this one could potentially go all the way higher into 30.20. For now, though, 29.50 is the target, and we could see price turn there. So bullish bias for S&P 500. NASDAQ here, this is looking bullish as well. We are moving towards the high of the range here as well. Price is traded in this range for last couple of weeks here. So bias is bullish. First target would be 77.80 level here. And if it doesn't go through, then we're looking for a drop here and move back towards the middle of the range here. Now, should it go through this one, again, we have a lot of room to the upside. 79.20 will be the next target here for NASDAQ. DAX here, this one is bullish, and I will look for a further move towards 11,850 here. So bullish bias here, and then we are into resistance. At that point, we could see price come back down just like it did here. So this is a major support resistance level, and if it doesn't go through, as we can see, it comes all the way from here. If it doesn't go through, I would look for a drop, but bias is bullish. 11,850 is the target. And then we have FTSE here. We have seen a move higher. It is into resistance here at 72.20, but if it continues higher, if it breaks today's high, then and only then am I looking for price to go higher into 7,300. But what could happen here is, because again, we are into an important level here from support resistance perspective. If it doesn't break today's high, I would look for a drop here. But if it breaks through the high though, then 7,300 would be the target. Just be cautious with this one. Nikkei here, this one also is fairly close to our top of the range here into 20,800 level. If it stays below this, I'm looking for a move down here. So all these equity indices have been trading in these ranges, and now we are towards the high, which means with the range-bound moves, when price doesn't break the high, we look for a move back towards the middle of the range. So that's what I would look for. But if it breaks through the high, then it could go to the next level here, 21,100. But this right now, we are at important level. As long as it stays below 20,800, I'm looking for a drop back down here. And target, the first target would be 20,450. And then if it continues on, we could see it go back towards 20,000. So that's all I have for our market analysis. Have a great trading day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.